Hey y'all, it's Brijin, the Museum Stitcher. Welcome back to my floss tube for floss tube number 26. Today is June 18th. It is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to those of you who celebrate. But it has been a crazy few weeks since I filmed last. I have Stitchcon updates. I have a celebration for the 1-year Flosstube anniversary of my channel and for my 2-year cross-stitching anniversary. I have a whole crap ton of stitching to share, so it is going to be a very action-packed one today. So if you are new here, this is my little corner of the internet where I talk about my crafting life, mostly about cross stitch. Today there is a little bit of knitting and one singular book that I'm going to be talking about. So if you like things like cross stitch, knitting, quilting, books, this is definitely the space for you, and I hope that you stick around and hit that like and subscribe button and hang out. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much. I am so incredibly grateful, and 1 year ago I could not have pictured that this is what my life was going to look like, and I have made so many incredible friendships. I have been so inspired by all of you, and I just want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for supporting my channel and following along with my cross stitch journey. So I know that a lot of you are probably super sick of hearing about Stitchcon. I am late to the party on actually talking about my experience. So I will be saving all of these Stitchcon updates for the end of the video. So no worries if you are not interested in that. And there will probably be a little bit of it interspersed. Today I'm also gonna have quite a bit of haul to share because I did some spending after my no-buy in the month of May. June is off to a rip-roaring start, and I got some cool things to share. So all of that being said, let's get into the stitching. So I have a finish. If you've been watching my last few videos, I've been talking about this project a lot. I was pushing for a Stitchcon finish so that I could ring the bell while I was there, and I got it done. So this is Love Gains by Modern Folk Embroidery, and this is what it looked like the last time I showed it on my channel. I think I had about 2,000 stitches or something left, and I had 1,500 when I started Stitchcon, and I got a finish. So I will try my best to insert some footage here. Carrie of Tiger Lily Designs was my best hype woman ever, and she actually took video. Megan, the Seattle stitcher, took photos of me getting my finish in, of ringing the bell, and it was so much fun. So this piece is a monochromatic Quaker design. It is about 180 by 200 stitches, and there are 12,000 crosses total. The chart is over 1. I stitched mine on a 28 count Stay with the High Lord even weave from FanGirl Fibers. This was part of her A Court of Thorns and Roses fabric club last year. And so I popped on some Colour Cotton Salem Light floss, which is this gorgeous gray, purple, black, and it looks so stunning. All in all, for this entire project, I ended up using about 5 skeins of the floss with 2 strands from a 6th skein. So barely broke into a 6th skein, but I bought 11, so I gave the rest to my friend, the Seattle stitcher, because she loved it, and she always does monochromatic black pieces, and I think she'd love that floss. And I don't want to stitch with it ever again. Just kidding. It's a lovely floss. So the original chart that was included with this design, I recharted. Because this was A Court of Thorns and Roses themed fabric, I wanted to do a quote from A Court of Thorns and Roses. So I picked more of a deep cut. So it reads, "When you spend so long trapped in darkness, you find the darkness begins to stare back." There is originally a character's name, Lucian, right here, but I took it out for the actual stitched piece. And I used the included alphabet that came in the quote and then added a few letters myself. So thank you to everyone who came over and looked at it, who was wishing me well when ringing the bell. I know I was obnoxious talking about it, but how freaking stunning is this piece? It is pretty big, so I probably won't be doing the framing myself for this one, just because I do probably want a little bit of matting, and I want it to be custom sized because this is a rather large pattern. So yeah. Hi, Pearl. If you see puppy noses, we are puppy sitting right now, and she's a little yellow golden double doodle, which is a poodle mixed with a labradoodle. So she is all up in my grill. But yes, this is my Stitchcon finished. So I started this on May 14th of last year and I finished it on June 10th of this year. So just a little over 1 year as a whip. Actually, I will put a picture here of where I was at the start of this year because I think it's rather impressive that I pretty much stitched the entire piece minus, I think I had this motif finished and maybe like to here on this motif. So the rest of this, hello Pearl. Oh, thank you, Pearl. Thank you, Pearl. Lay down. Oh, okay, lay down. There we go. Good Lord. Okay. I guess Pearl is going to be joining us. But anyway, this was my Stitchcon finish. I am so happy to have this one out of my whip pile so I can now devote some time to one of my other monochromatic Quaker designs because like my friend Megan, I am a sucker for a monochromatic Quaker and this one is lovely. So if you're looking for a good monochromatic piece, Jacob of Modern Folk Embroidery has a whole bunch of good ones and I highly recommend this chart. So yeah, that is officially the last you'll be hearing of this one until I have it fully finished. Let me get you up close so you can see the modeling on this floss. Moment of silence for Love Gains. It feels really good to have a big finish down too. Okay. So that is it for finishes. I do have some new starts though, so let's go ahead and go through those. So like I said, I celebrated my first Flosstube anniversary on June 4th, the 1 year anniversary of me starting my channel and making friends with all of you wonderful people. And so I decided I wasn't really gonna do anything, but I was talking to some of my girlfriends and they were like, let's do a new start for your Flosstube anniversary. And I was like, perfect, give me an excuse for a new start, I will do it. So I had a few options and we all ended up settling on the Black Butterfly Sampler by Shaded Stitchery. So beautiful. I was influenced to get this pattern because I saw it on Katie, the Novel Stitcher's channel, who is fantastic. And she's doing it more like the called for, but because it's a monochromatic, essentially, I think there's 2 colors called for, it's easy to make it monochromatic. I wanted to pull something from my stash that I hadn't used before, and I had bought a full hank, like 100-gram hank of Almond M&M's Silk Floss in the color Wild Hibiscus, which is stunning. It looks like this. It is this perfect plummy warm purple. I loved it so much. And I hadn't, I'd originally bought this to do Beatrix Potter Quaker, sorry, from a Stitchy Box, and it didn't end up getting here in time for me to do that, so I've kind of been sitting on it. And so I decided to do mine with this Almond M&M Silk Floss on some honey fabric by Bestitch Me, and I started this on June 4th, and this is where I've gotten to. So I probably put in about 4 days of dedicated work on this. I also took this on the airplane into the airport. Here crinkling, it is the dog playing with her toy. Because she is occupied. So yeah, I love the way this is looking. It's very like muted, but a little bit Southwestern. And I have done 43% of this, and I have 2,000 stitches left roughly. So I just need to finish this butterfly. There's one more butterfly and then some stuff down here, and then finish out the alphabet. And it is so beautiful. This silk floss is really, really fun to work with. It's very soft and smooth. And the honey yellow fabric with that like warm toned purple is just really cool. So if you want to see other variations of this one being stitched right now, I think the Novel Stitcher finished hers, but my friend Megan Babauta is stitching this, as well as Marjorie Maid and Cam the Stitcher. They all started it out of my channel growing. So yeah, and I have this on a Top Knot Stitcher floss drop that I got in one of my orders. And I wanted to shout out this project bag that Alexis of Alexis_My_Amazing_World made me for my birthday. This is the prototype of some new hexagon project bags that she's making. But it's got some pockets here. This right here fits my Morgan hoop, my 7-inch one, really good. There's a zipper pocket over here and a little felt spot for odds and end threads. And so I've been keeping this one in here because it's small and monochromatic and it fits super, super well. So go check out the shaded Stitchery if you have not already. The patterns are so, so pretty. And I could not be happier with this start. Okay, so I only have two more new starts, I guess. The first new start is a Stitchcon start. So Abby, the Top Knot Stitcher, organized a stitch along to start at Stitchcon, and it is for A Wavy Ride by Blackbird Designs. So let me grab the chart. I actually have the paper chart for this. I know, shocking. So this chart is a Blackbird Designs recently re-released chart. It was out of print for a while, and it came back in print. The dogs are noisy. Came back into print. So I snapped it up, and Abby organized a start along for everyone at Stitchcon. So it was really fun to see everyone's fabric choices and floss choices, and to see the people that had been working on it before it went out of print and the people that started it at Stitchcon. It was a big variety, and this pattern is just so, so cool. So I have this one in a project bag that I actually got at Stitchcon. This is from the Painted Leaf Company, which is Stitchy Friends Sarah. I believe it's her mom that runs it, and the bag is gorgeous. Got a quilted interior and this corduroy fabric on the outside that is amazing. So I brought some fabric to start this on, and I had cut it down to size and serged the edges and put like 2 stitches in just so I had my bearings, and I decided I hated it when I got there because it was very dark and the flosses weren't showing up super great. So I decided to have a look around keepsakes, and I found an alternative fabric that I am so, so happy with. So this is being stitched on some 40 count outrageous linen by Fortnite Fabrics. And I am doing the Vicki Clayton silk conversion, which is right here. Look at these beautifully gorgeous Vicki Clayton silks. And I grabbed this one Forbidden Fiber Co floss because I wanted a little bit more red instead of dark orange for one of the motifs. But this is where I got to. Thank you, Pearl. Very helpful. This is where I got to, and this was probably about 3 days of work. This border is pretty intensive, but it looks so cool. So I am super, super happy with how this is coming out, and I cannot wait to get some more progress in on it. It's a really good size on 40 count. It's very dainty and cute. And there are a whole bunch of people starting this. I know Megan, the Seattle Stitcher, started it while we were there. Alexis has it going as a whip, and her fabric is so cool. She's actually doing it on an Ada. But yeah, that is A Wavy Ride by Blackbird Designs. And I love it so much. So if you are wanting to join in on that, there's no hard deadlines or anything, but if you want to grab your copy of the chart, go get it from Abby, the Top Knot Stitcher. I will have her shop linked down below, like always. I love her so, 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 so much, and it was amazing getting to meet her in person, and I already have like another order that I need to go place from her shop because I had some ideas. And then I've got a little piece of Stitchcon jewelry on here that someone was giving out since it was my Stitchcon start. And these flosses are just so gorgeous. I have been loving the Vicki Clayton silks recently. I am a big, big fan. Okay, then I just have one more start, and then we will get into some whips. So this was a start that I impulse started yesterday night because Droughtlander is over. So if you are a huge Outlander fan, let me know in the comments down below. I have loved Outlander for forever, and I actually wrote an entire paper on the Jacobite Rebellion when I was in school because I'm obsessed, and I made pop culture comparisons. So I wanted to do a little start in honor of the 7th season of Outlander coming out this week and Droughtlander being over. And I have been holding on to this kit from Forbidden Fiber Company. This is called Blood and Bone. I got to meet Leanne of Forbidden Fiber while I was at Stitchcon, and she is so, so sweet. But I bought this kit last year. This is the project bag it came with, which has some of the Skyboat song, and it's got this cute little dragonfly attachment. And this came fully kitted up with the Forbidden Fiber Co. flosses. The quote on here is, "You're blood of my blood and bone of my bone," which is part of Jamie and Claire's wedding vows. And this came with some 14 count Aida. This is the color Tumbleweed. It is beautiful, but I don't want to use Aida for this project. I really wanted it to be tiny. I wanted to make like a cute little pillow out of this when it was done. So I am using the called for Forbidden Fiber Company flosses, which is Garland, Pistachio, Grasshopper, and Heather. And then I pulled some fabric from Stash. So this is some 40 count Verdal. That's the even weave 40 count. From Be Stitch Me in the color Peanut. Alexis of Alexis _ My Amazing World sent me a fat quarter of this fabric for my birthday, and it was just the perfect neutral. It's very close to Tumbleweed, slightly less mottled, but it's fine. And this was my one night's progress on that thistle. And I have my Outlander needle minder on here. Not from Forbidden Fiber Co., just from my stash. Yeah. This is a cute little tiny pattern. It is 50 by 100, and a lot of it is backstitch. So I don't anticipate having this as a whip for very long. I think we're actually going to watch the episode tonight, so we'll see if I can get this as a weekend start and finish. But so cute, and I just wanted something easy and fast and small to work on because I was doing catch up on Greenhouse of Oddities, and I was done working on it, and I was cleaning out my kits, and I had this, and it was kind of perfect timing. So that is my little Outlander start and finish of the weekend, fingers crossed. Okay, so I have one whip. That's not a new start. Two whips that I worked on over the last few weeks. The first one was a specific project that I wanted to work on over Memorial Day. So for those of you that don't know, my paternal grandmother, she passed away a few years ago, and she was a huge crafter. She was actually born on Memorial Day, and her second husband was born on the 4th of July. So they did a lot of patriotic things together because it made them feel very meant for each other, and I have a lot of good memories around Memorial Day because of it being her birthday weekend. And so when I saw this pattern by Hands On Design called Memorial Day, I knew I had to start it on her first birthday that she was no longer with us. So I started this pattern last year in honor of my grandmother, and it's not normally my style. I don't stitch a lot of Americana just because it's not normally my vibe. I like a lot more book themed stitches and things like that. But this piece felt really special for that reason. So I started this in honor of my grandmother. So this is a picture of what it looked like the last time that you've seen it. I have not worked on it since Memorial Day weekend of last year. And I got a lot done in just the 2 days that I worked on this. So this is on some 18 count Cornflower Aida by Fiber on a Whim. And I picked this piece of fabric up because Megan of Georgia Girl Stitching was working on this on the same fabric, and I loved it on the blue. Mine is much deeper, I believe, than hers came out. But I finished the entire quote and the entire clothesline and finished filling in this flag right here. So I believe the last time you saw it, it had about 1,500 stitches on it, not very much at all. And it now has about 3,500. So I did about 2,000 stitches in a few days. I am stitching this with the called for Sulky thread pack. So, and I have this in this really fun project bag. I don't know who made this. Creative Carol Designs. It is a really fun Lori Holt fabric bag. So these are the Sulky flosses. They come on a spool like this, and you use one strand of them. It is the perfect coverage on 18 count. If I was ever to do like a monochromatic piece on an 18 count fabric, I would definitely use the Sulkies. They give a little bit more coverage than one strand of DMC, but not as much as two strands. So my stitches don't look puffy, but they look full. And that's usually my struggle on 18 count, is they look too puffy with two strands and not full enough with one strand. So the Sulkies on 18 count is definitely where it's at. So I pretty much just have to fill in the next two flags and then the flowers along the bottom, and this is a finish. So I will be putting this back into storage, but I will probably pull it out on the 4th of July and I will probably pull it out next Memorial Day weekend, and fingers crossed we can get a finish there. So the only modification that I made to this chart, and you can't see it yet, but I have turned the center flag into the Texas flag because it will probably be hanging in my mom's home, and we're from Texas, and yeah, give it a little bit of texture and variety to do it that way. So this will be going back into storage, but I did get some good progress on it for the 2 days that I worked on it, and I'm feeling pretty happy with it. So back into storage it goes. Okay, and then I only worked on one more whip this time around, and this is the Greenhouse of Oddities by Lola Crow Cross Stitch. I know everyone and their mother is working on this stitch along right now, but I will show you a picture of where I was last time. I was caught up on the style, I believe, and I think, no, maybe I wasn't. I posted on Instagram that I got caught up, but I think the last time that you saw it, I still hadn't finished the frame. So I have done I finished the frame, and I've done the first and second plantings, and I'm working on the third planting right now. Yes? Yes. Okay, prepare yourselves. Doesn't it look incredible? Oh my gosh. So I'm doing mine on a 40 count dovetail linen by Forbidden Fiber Company. It is the perfect fabric. So I went through and finished out the frame. I believe I just had to do the frame on this side, or maybe it was this side. And then the first planting was this cactus and this cute little owl. The second planting was the corpse flower and the whisker flower and this thing. And then the third planting was the artist and the butterflies. The fourth planting is right here. It is the Venus flytrap and another like carnivorous plant. And then there's gonna be like a little well or like brick planter that's holding them all together. But I am so obsessed with how this is coming out. I have done, I think, about 4,000 stitches on this since you have last seen it. And I just have about 570 stitches, I think, until I am completely caught up. Next week is a break week, so I will stay caught up, and I am not super worried about it. And it just feels really good to be caught up with a stitch along. I mean, almost 2 more days of work and it'll definitely be done. 1 more good day, actually. But yeah, that is the Greenhouse of Oddities by Lola Crow, and everyone take note, because this will be the last time I've ever stayed caught up on a stitch along in my entire life. I still have not finished Haunted Library. That was the Lola Crow cross stitch mystery stitch along from last year. But I just love this one. I think it's coming out so cool, and it's not, I don't know, some of it is a little bit more cutesy than my normal style, but I am having a really good time with it. And the designer is including like botanical lists of like information about the plants. None of them are like made up plants. They're all real, which is cool. This is the floss ring that I have for this one. The only downside to the Lola Crow patterns is you have to have about 30 DMC colors. And the benefit is a lot of them repeat with Haunted Library. I know Frizzy Lizzy Stitches is actually keeping both of those projects in the same bag, which is so smart because the floss ring has a lot of repeats. But yes. Okay, so that is everything I stitched on. So many projects. I normally don't rotate this much, but special circumstances with Stitchcon and things. Okay, so as far as haul goes, I have some Stitchcon haul and some non-Stitchcon haul, but I'm just gonna go through it all together. So if you like looking at things people buy, actually, you know what, we'll start with gifts first and then we'll move into haul. So number 1 gift that I wanted to share, I am not pulling out because I actually have it set up kind of perfectly right now, but Alexis of Alexis_My_Amazing_World gave me a retreat mat, and she made the most incredible retreat mat I have ever seen in my whole life. I made a couple like really crappy ones for me and Megan because I knew Alexis had already been to retreats, and so I wanted just something on the table, and it was crap compared to what she made. So this is a picture of it set up on my home stitching spot because it's perfect for that. So I have it like over a TV tray. I have my BenQ light that I use every day when I'm stitching, but it has a drawstring Ort catcher that has a removable pad that you can take off and clean. It has pockets for scissors, and I have like I think I have my seam ripper and one of my floss fairies that I got from Janet Jabber, who is the kindest human. And it's got a spot for like threads that you're using and a magnet in it. And it is the most incredible retreat mat. It makes my stitching spot at home look so nice and neat. And my orts aren't just falling all over the couch like they normally are. So thank you so much, Alexis. She also influenced that weird little clamp thing you see on the desk. That actually holds paper charts, and that was such a game changer. I bought one of those too. So that was some happy mail there. Then Elizabeth of Frizzy Lizzy Stitches, who is literally like the sweetest human I've ever met. She made these. If you have been watching her channel, you've probably seen these, but she does these knotted friendship bracelet scissor fobs, and look how cute. I don't know how she knew exactly what colors I would love because she didn't ask, but she picked the perfect colors for me. So I have these on some light pink scissors that they match perfectly, and I usually keep these on my permanent stitching spot. They're like my stitching spot scissors. They don't go in a project bag, because they are just too cute to only use with one project. So that was some of my happy mail. I also got a just crap ton of freebies at Stitchcon. So I got some needle minders, which I have kept in this bag right here. This is from the Stitching Grotto. It's a little monstera leaf. I got a little ladybug and this rose. This was the needle minder I had on my Love Gains. And then I bought a few needle minders right here, just because I have them out. I bought one that had Stitchcon on it, and I bought two from Rebel Stitcher, who is so amazing. But this one is a little scissor, this is Maker, and this one, some roses that says Feminist. So I loved those and had to get them. Make sure my magnets aren't gonna stick together. I got this cute little sticker from Delicious Threads. And I got a pony needle to try from Running with Needles and Scissors, which this is a hypoallergenic, non-shiny needle. And I've been so intrigued to start them or use them. They're Maddie of Kitty Stitch made these adorable little tomato pin cushions, which I need to put on my permanent stitching spot. I got some floss drops. I got little thread cutters. Liz Matthews gave out some nail files and these cute little bags to put everything in, which came in so handy. Tiger Lily Designs, who is one of my favorite humans, gave out pink floss fairies. And I am so excited. I need to go put that on my stitching spot. I was giving out some stickers with my logo on them. So I have some extras of those that I'll be throwing in giveaways and things like that. Someone was coming around with Polaroids, so I got a little Polaroid of me and my new start at Stitchcon. I got some needle books and a little Warm and Fuzzy and another nail file. I got a whole bunch of floss drops, so I've got those in this bag ready to go. Got my name tag that I'm probably going to put on the back of my Away We Ride when I frame it, just because it was a Stitchcon start. I got some more scissor fobs, and this was from Keepsakes. It's some more little zipper charms I'm gonna put on some project bags. Liz Matthews gave out Post-it notes, which was so nice to have. And I believe that's everything I got. Everything else I purchased. So as far as purchases go, I stayed pretty good. I only bought one chart. This is Blooming Tiny Town from Heart and Hand. Alexis of Alexis _ amazing, wow, words. Alexis of Alexis _ My Amazing World, and I are going to be doing a Tiny Town Sal in July. So if you have any of the Tiny Towns, I'm going to be starting the Blooming Tiny Town. I think she's going to be doing the Seaside Tiny Town. But if you've wanted to start one of these cute little tiny towns and you've been wanting the excuse, here you go. So get that kitted up. We'll be starting it in July. We don't have any dates yet, but this is the only pattern I bought. Pretty good. And then we went to a quilt shop that was next to Keepsakes, and so I got this cute little quilt pattern while we were there, and I love like the fence rail look of it, so I need to get some fat quarters for that together. Where's my bag of fabric? I need to go grab my bag of fabric in just a second, but I also got one more project bag. This is from Cricklewood Crossing, and this is probably the most well-made project bag I've ever felt in my whole life. It has this thick foam. It's these gorgeous little cameos with this geometric pattern. And the zipper charm has Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen on it. And it is the thickest vinyl I've ever felt in my entire life. I love it so much. And I love the vertical style of it. I don't have anything like this at home. So I grabbed this along with the painted leaf project bag. So I'm going to stop and go grab my fabric, and I'll be right back. I also got the coolest purse hanger from a woman named Diana, who came up and said such amazing, lovely things to me. But she gave us, our whole table, these really cool purse hangers that magnetize to the table and have like a little hook, and you hang your flosses from them when you're at retreats and things. And I have it set up on my stitchy spot, so I don't have it with me, but it was the coolest thing. So thank you so much, Diana. She was really cool. And that purse floss hanger came in clutch, because not having to have your flosses laid out on the table was so, so nice. So had to include that in there too, although I don't have it on me in my basket because it's being used. Okay, I'm back with my fabric, and I got about 4 fat quarters of fabric while I was there, which is not too shabby. I didn't go as overboard as I thought I would with the purchasing, but I got a fat quarter of 40 count weathered stone by Atomic Ranch, and Atomic Ranch was there at the event, and they were so, so sweet. And this fabric is just like the most beautiful mottled cream. It's got a little bit of a greenish yellow undertone, but I love it. This is the rest of that 40 count Outrageous by Fortnite Fabrics that I didn't use for my Away ride. And then I got some Needle and Flax Eastwick. This is some 32 count, just got a fat quarter. I figured this would be good for like a grungy autumnal piece or something, but it is beautiful. And Needle and Flax isn't something that my local cross stitch store carries, so I wanted to get some fabrics from dyers that I don't normally buy from. And finally, I got a fat quarter of 40 count Olympia by Mystic Fabrics. This is the most beautiful neutral with like blue and yellow and brown veining. I love it so, so much. So I think I didn't buy with any specific pieces in mind. However, I do think this weathered stone is going to be perfect for Teresa Kogut's, Remember Me, which I think all of my friends have kitted up and ready to go at some point. So we'll be picking a date to start that together. And the final thing that I bought at Stitchcon was this. This is a project roll. They were being sold through Black Cat X Stitchery, which is Tiffany. And so this is a roll that you tie together with these fabric straps, and you unroll it and you keep all of your finishes in here, and it keeps them flat and ironed and away from the sun and away from dirt and lint and cats. And so I grabbed one of these because they were very, very cheap and really good quality, and they fit a full fat quarter of fabric. So I have moved all of my finishes from a hanger in my closet into this, and it was a great purchase. Plus it has poppies all over it, which poppies are my favorite flower. They're on my tattoo. And yeah, so this was a fantastic purchase. I know a few of my girlfriends also got them. And that's it for cross stitch haul. I did get my Colour Cotton thread and fabric of the month in for the month of June. So I get 3 skeins of Classic Collection, which this month was Jamestown, Mistletoe, and Cardinal. This is from their permanent collection, and would be great in a Halloween piece, or Christmas piece together. Like, where were these when I was doing my Blackbird Designs Christmas garden conversion, you know what I mean? But the special edition colors for this month knocked it out of the flippin' park. We have bobbins, macrame, and patchwork, which I need to go order some more skeins of all of these because holy crap. Like, the perfect cool toned blue, I just need all of it. And this like dusty purple. Oh, so, so pretty. And then the fabric for this month was, I get the 46 count because their 40 count club is like impossible to get into, and I don't typically love stitching with 36 just because I can't decide if I like 2 strands or 1 strand. So I get 46, and the fabric this month is called Coral Canyon. Just a perfect neutral. So love that. And I actually, one more thing. This counts as Stitchcon haul, I'm going to say, because I bought it while I was at Stitchcon, even though it's an online purchase. But this is the Vicki Clayton silk conversion for With Thy Needle and Thread Every Opening Flower. So I grabbed one of these for Megan and one of these for myself, and I need to put these on floss drops because I think Cam is starting this on July 1st, so I'm going to join in on that stitch along, because I'll pop a picture of the chart here. It is beautiful, but I didn't want to kit it up with the call for flosses, and these Vicki Clayton silks have been so amazing to work with, and the shipping is so fast. So highly recommend that shop. Okay, I did buy something that wasn't cross stitch, and so this is a new knitting start as well as some knitting haul. But while we were at Stitchcon, my friends and I decided to take a break and run out to a local yarn store because my friend Megan is a knitter and I'm a knitter, and so we went to this little place called Hank, and I got a project bag from them, which has a hippo that is apparently a famous hippo at the Cincinnati Zoo that I did not know, but it was a cute bag and I needed a project bag. I got this skein of fingering weight yarn, which, like, how stunning, right? Oh. And then I started a project off of this ball of yarn, which has these gorgeous southwestern colors interspersed with teal and navy. And I cast on this scarf. I think it's called the waterfall scarf. I'll put a picture of what it looks like. And the picture does not do this piece justice. We saw the model of this like little cowl scarf, and Megan and I decided to start it together. So I started mine while we were at Stitchcon, and this is how the yarn is working up. It is so beautiful. It reminds me a little bit of Rainbow Fish. If you are a 90s kid, Rainbow Fish was everything. So you knit this all the way around instead of like short rows all the way up, and it has heavy lace work. So I've just done the ribbing that goes around the outside of the cowl. And I need to take advantage of having Megan having not started it yet, because I'm a much slower knitter than her. But I basically just need to add in my stitch markers for the lace work and get to going. So that was my knitting start. It was so much fun because Megan actually ended up teaching a beginner sock class at our table afterwards. So Maddie of Kitty Stitch on Instagram and Elizabeth of Frizzy Lizzy Stitches here on YouTube learned how to cast on socks and started knitting socks while we were there. So our table was doing some crafts that was not cross-stitch during Stitchcon, which was super fun. Okay, so that is everything haul-wise. I do have one book to share, and then I will tell you about my Stitchcon experience. So, because I know we are getting a little bit long here. But the one book that I've read, I know I need to read more, was The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This is the prequel book to The Hunger Games, which I just finished a reread of the original Hunger Games trilogy a while back, I think in my last video. So this book follows President Snow in his younger years at the 10th annual Hunger Games, and he is a mentor to the District 12 female tribute. I actually really enjoyed this book more than I thought I would. I'm really looking forward to the movie coming out, and I didn't love the ending, but you kind of go into it knowing you're not going to love the ending because you know who he becomes in the original trilogy. So it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek that way, but it was really interesting seeing the Hunger Games not look like they did in the actual Hunger Games books. Anyway, it was a really interesting take on it. I really enjoyed it as a prequel series, and Suzanne Collins is an incredible writer, so I will read anything she puts out at this point, even if it is middle grade. And yeah, so if you're interested in picking it up, I definitely would recommend reading it before the movie comes out in November. It was a good time. So I'll have more books to share next time, but right now that's all I've got. Okay, so let's talk Stitchcon, finally. I am going to keep this pretty brief because I have talked a lot about Stitchcon through the video already with the things I've started and gotten. But the one thing I haven't gotten a chance to talk about yet is the people. I met the most amazing people this weekend. It is by far the best part about this retreat is getting to see these other amazing humans in person. Like Sarah of Stitchy Friends, and she is the cutest, sweetest human ever. Carrie of Tiger Lily Designs, who I have been watching for years and getting to actually meet her and hug her, and she is so beautiful and so effervescent, and so like you just like are instantly happy being around her. And so she was coming over to our table all the time, and she took a bunch of pictures for us. So a lot of these pictures, shout out to Carrie for being our photographer. We get to meet Angie, the little house stitcher, who was so sweet. My absolute favorite humans on the planet were my table mates, and we just vibed so well. So I roomed with Alexis and Megan, and we added in Maddie of Kitty Stitch on Instagram, who I will have linked her Instagram page down below. It was so fun getting to actually see her in person, because we've only ever chatted through the Instagram, and she doesn't have a floss tube, so I had no idea what she was gonna sound like. She is so adorable. And then Elizabeth of Frizzy Lizzy Stitches, who was originally not going to be at this weekend, and I'm so happy she was able to move into weekend A because she is amazing. And since Maddie and Elizabeth were local, they actually brought out their projects, their finishes, and so we got to do like little mini finish parades and look at their stuff in person, which holy crap, so gorgeous. They were just such a blast to be around. We kept, going out and getting food, or we got beers one day. We got, all of these little amazing jaunts around town, and it's so incredible getting to hang out with them. I miss them so much already. Yeah, it's amazing when you find your group of people that you vibe with so well, in person. As well as online. It's a little weird to fly across the country to meet with your internet friends, and they made it so amazing. So the only thing I wish was Marjorie and Cam could have been there, and then it would have been everyone. But we were sitting at a table right next to another table of amazing humans, which was Abby the Top Knot Stitcher and Liz from Hello from Liz Matthews. And I forgot to take a picture with Abby, so that's on me, but I did get a picture with Liz. Actually, so funny story, I look so puffy in all of my pictures, and it is because I was having an allergic reaction to a new moisturizer that I started using before Stitchcon. So just take that into consideration with these pictures. But, oh, hi, Frey. Did you say hello, Fraser? Say hello to the internet. She is not liking the puppy sitting thing, and this is the first time I've seen her in a few days. So, anyway, it was so incredible getting to see all these people. Everyone who came up to our table and said hello, thank you so much. Got to meet Pam and Steph of Just Keep Stitching, which was amazing. They are so kind, and they give the best hugs. And yeah, it was an incredible time. It was an overwhelming time for someone who is incredibly introverted. But I would highly recommend going with your favorite extroverted friends, because Megan and Alexis kept up the stream of conversation when I physically could not handle it anymore. And they were incredible and amazing. And yeah, so if you actually got one of my stickers because Megan went around giving them around, you're welcome. I was so peopled out. I could not stand the idea of walking around and mingling, and Megan was like, I'll take your stickers around. So shout out to Megan for being the best ambassador in the planet. I love her so much, and I miss her face. So yeah. That about wraps it up. I'll include, my little pictures here. We took some like JCPenney prom photos, and it was such a good time, and they are such incredible people, and it was really cool just to be able to be in a room with other people who cross stitch and share the same hobby and get it. I will say keepsakes was really overwhelming. I had plans to like specifically get and kit up patterns while I was there, and that didn't happen because you couldn't really find anything. So I just pretty much ended up shopping by vibes, and it worked out for me. Trust me, I have plenty of projects that I have kitted up and things. Speaking of which, so my friend Maddie at Kitty Stitch, and you might have heard me talk about her before because she actually designed the cat on Kathy Barrick's Good Intentions that I used, her little cat conversion. But we were talking, and we realized we had one of the same charts kitted up, and we are going to be starting this together. But this is Forget Me Not by Hello from Liz Matthews, who's amazing. But I've had the Vicky Clayton silk conversion for this in my stash, as well as some fabric I figured would be perfect. And Maddie wanted to start it as well, so we're going to be starting this on June 24th for Maddie's birthday. Maddie is just a few months younger than me, so it'll be, I believe, her 25th. But I went ahead and kitted up the Vicky Clayton silks, and I put them on my floss drops that I got from Maddie. So these are a few of her finishes and her little kitties. And so I just had just enough of my Maddie floss drops to fully kit this on my Maddie drops. So, and this is the fabric I'm going to be using, which is 40 count flannel flower by Fox and Rabbit. So if you had this project in your stash and you've been looking for an excuse to start it, June 24th. And it was really nice because I freed up this project bag. This used to house my love gains, and now it houses my forget-me-not. Okay, so I think that's all of my stitching plans. Over the next few weeks, I just want to get caught up on greenhouse, work some more on my Away We Ride before I put it away until the spooky season. And I probably want to pull out my summer Quakers, which, a Stitchcon story. I actually brought this along with Megan. She brought hers so we could take a picture with our pieces, because this was the first stitch along we ever planned together. It was right at the beginning of when I started my channel, and Megan and I were new friends at the time, and we both started this together, and then Alexis joined us and started it. So it was really fun to actually get to see hers in person and to get to show off my fabric color, because it does not photograph well. So yeah, so I will probably be working on summer Quakers, and I might check my stash to see if I have any other seasonal stitches. I also have plans to film a kit parade and a whip parade. So if you'd like to see a mid-year whip parade, let me know in the comments. If you want to include a butterfly emoji, if you want to see a mid-year whip parade from me, or if you just made it to this portion of the video, I would love to see that. I would like to lay hands on all of my whips. I've started a lot of things since my last whip parade, and I'd like to do some reevaluating on what really brings me joy, what kind of stitches I'm not really into anymore, and just kind of get reset for the rest of the year. You know what I mean? See what areas I need to fill in projects, and what projects I really want to reach for, and what projects I maybe don't want to reach for anymore. So that is it for plans, and that is it for today's video. So if you liked everything you saw today, please like and subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know if you were at Stitchcon, if you said hello. If you weren't at Stitchcon, let me know what you're working on, what you're reading, if there's anything you think I need to start, because I am highly amenable to new starts, very clearly. Or if you're going to join me for Forget Me Not, or I think the other project I need to start is Garden Side Sampler by Carriage House Samplings. And yeah, so that's about it for today. I hope you have an amazing Father's Day weekend. By the time I get this uploaded, it will be over, but I will see you guys in about 2 weeks for my next one. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Bye.